mustache.
With.
Let me guess. You were never actually told no.
You want me to try to reiterate as best as I can?
Give me some time, and then the hope is that you'll forget, and then you don't, and then you don't want to be the annoying person, so you kind of delay asking again for a bit, but then you realize it's been an obnoxious amount of time, but then you're also told by the person that they're giving up. You say don't give up, and because you feel sort of guilty because you told them not to give up, you then inquire again, only to be told I'll get back to you. Rinse, repeat several times, and now we're here.
Yeah, I'll pull off of the truck.
God, how many times how many times have you personally had to go through this?
2776, latest 911.
I wouldn't say many times as much as it was like a large group of people originally, if that makes sense.
Look, Rhodes, the best I can tell you is there's a time and a place for everyone, and we don't know when that time may be. Could be
Is
a
this
day,
like verbatim
could
what
be
Barrick said?
6 months.
Because this sounds like you're imitating Barrick.
1081 colored two-door coupe.
Well, I mean,
Eastbound Vespucci Boulevard.
well, look, Duncan, man,
secondary right, southbound power.
We're
Approaching
looking at it. We're
right,
looking at all
westbound
things. We're looking at all things and all avenues, and
Left.
that's my Turner impression.
Westbound Adams towards Calais.
Oh,
Right north Calais.
yeah.
Duncan,
To be fair, that that same thing happened with my husband, right?
hold on, I'm not
Right.
done yet. Hold on, Rhodes.
Okay,
I'm not
sorry.
done yet.
Northbound Calais.
Duncan, look, man. Sometimes things just aren't a good fit right now. But in the future they might be. But right now, sometimes it just isn't right now. And that was my Slacks impression. I'm not even gonna bother with the Ruth impression. But I've heard consistently the same thing from everyone, and it's exactly what you said.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
Essentially, I can't. I'm not gonna tell you no so that you give up and leave, but I'm gonna let you come to that conclusion on your own.
Yeah, that's gonna keep happening.
So I was your husband? Sorry.
He had been literally the only person really inquiring about dispatch. And like the goalpost was kind of like moved to like there was an assumption that he was going to be utilizing dispatch as a stepping stone back into the police department. That wasn't the case. He only wanted to do dispatch. In fact, he was one of the only people who only wanted to do dispatch, especially during shift 3 into 1. And unbeknownst to a lot of people, Richard was one of the original dispatchers years ago to sort of pioneer the dispatch department. So, this isn't exactly new territory for him. And, Turner, I believe, had an interview or something with him. Was told that he'd get a response, never did. Turner went on his leave, which, again, totally understandable. Then I inquired with others, and it was actually Ruth at the time. And, well, actually, Turner specifically gave Richard, hey, listen, you'll have a response in 48 hours. After 48 hours, I spoke with Richard. He said, still nothing. Do you think I should speak with Turner? And I was like, just give it another day. Who knows? Still nothing. So it was just very back and forth. And then he goes on his leave. Ruth then sort of, picks up on everything going on. And I ask her, are you willing to at least sort of, engage in a conversation with Richard regarding the situation? And when I say engage, I mean like just have a friendly conversation. You know, to discuss, you know, the situation. If you need to interview him, you know, it is what it is. And I think her response was something along the lines of, yeah, you know, I'm just busy. I'm gonna need some time. And I was like, yeah, no, totally understandable. And then when inquired about an ETA, do you know what the time frame was?
How long?
A week. For somebody
Oh.
who's already been interviewed, who only wanted to have a conversation.
I've heard the give me a week.
Yeah. Well, I do not wish to doom spiral, Duncan, okay? I can't get all of my social battery drained, all right?
I'm not doom spiraling. I'm more so.
No,
I'm just
I will
trying to
start to
say-
fucking doom spiral, bud. Not you, me. I will doom spiral.
Let me give you a different outlook. Some things are not fixable.
Everything's
things-
fixable
Uh,
with the right people in charge.
I can tell you right now, 100%. If I were to achieve sheriff and be an equal to Barrick, I think I might run into my own issues where I might need to evaluate what I have available in front of me and make informed decisions that maybe I wouldn't have made before getting that position.
Yeah, that sounds valid.
And some things just aren't fixable. And it's okay because
Left side by Prosperity. Coming up
I can't
Palomino.
speak for everyone else. I can't even speak for people.
East side by Prosperity.
But-
approaching Palomino.
What I do know about the Hay situation is that she is going to be okay.
50.
She is going to be a cop.
Mark 50 Okay, we're going north, South Rockford.
It just not
Permission
good.
for PBS on this.
Right. Heading north, South Rockford.
It's unfortunate.
She's not going to
This
let
is from
a
secondary northbound Decker Street. Very high
situation
rate of
stop
speed.
her from being the person that she is.
And that makes sense.
And she's not walking around all sad anymore. She's
Get to
walking
secondary.
around
To the
normal
westbound Marathon.
and
Approaching North Rockford. Left side by North Rockford.
accepting that it is what it is.
Left Scope Garage. Continuing south by South Rockford.
And in my position, I'm accepting that it is what it is, and I'm trying to make the best of it for the people that are here, people that are around,
Heavy traffic on Palomino.
to make sure that they are having a good time. I want to make sure that Anita is having a good time. I want to make sure that Viv is having a good time.
Braking.
Do you think they're having a good time?
Northbound Upper Tower. Oh my
No.
God, Yoshi King. Holy fuck.
Do you think they've communicated that?
Traffic at the top of Power.
Yes.
Northbound Power Street, proper lane to travel over Swiss.
And do you
Switch
think
to right eastbound Swiss. Right southbound Elgin.
the hope from the people it was communicated to is that
Come on, we clear for PBS. Left eastbound.
if
Southbound.
they
Yeah,
kind of
if
just
PBS
shrug it off
offers
and
the-
pretend
Shut-
there isn't an issue, that it'll just get better despite there being no improvement towards whatever the concerns were?
Left westbound
Yes.
Detective Way.
So
855. You're westbound in
Okay,
what
Texas.
I'm
so
going to
Coming
do
out from
is
Lower Power,
I'm going to
standby.
help them that they're
Over
not
Lower Power,
overloaded
going
with
over in
stupid
Docker,
bullshit.
Westbound. 850,
Flipping.
massive 50
Uh,
on the pair facing west.
Help
you
them
turn
so that
eastbound.
they're not overloaded with
April,
things that they
going off
can't
from
control,
Elgin. Standby for direction.
and try to make the shift as enjoyable as it can be. because
they're northbound Elgin.
It's okay for it to not be perfect,
Seeing
and
northbound
it's
Elgin,
okay for it to be the
I-50
way it
taken.
is. And it's okay
The new northbound Elgin.
for. I'm telling you,
Spanish,
I know
left
you're saying
westbound
it's not okay, but it is okay
Over Meteor.
because there are things we can't fix,
Left southbound Power.
and there are things that we can fix. And the things that we can't fix,
Over Hayward.
if we
southbound
focus
Power,
too on it,
approaching occupation.
we're just gonna make ourselves miserable.
855 secondary, southbound power.
Okay, but
We
you're.
got 4
Stop on
channel
power.
changes.
I get what you're saying, and I
Affirm.
think
Channel
it's
2 for this 8 channel 2.
How do I word this? I feel as though you feel it's the appropriate, response, or sort of solution or band-aid, but at the end of the day, if you feel this way, and Anita and Viv feel this way, and everybody in charge feels this way, then I don't know that you've done anything. To be clear, this isn't an on you thing, but I don't know that progress is being made at all in the right direction.
That's okay.
That's not okay. I get what you're trying to say. I think what you're trying to say is it needs to be okay, but it's not.
Rhodes, let me drive for a bit.
I'm scared.
No, I trust me. Let me cook.
I'm not a passenger princess.
Okay,
You
well,
can
I need
drive
you to
this
focus
car
your
if you can
MVP for a
if
bit.
you can Slim Jim it.
Okay. Well, while I try to Slim Jim it, can you check out your shared reports?
Tango 114, 23 CMC.
He might be there or what? I believe in you, bud.
Just on the 13.
Sorry. I can't even read this because you're distracted.
Go 2776, 13 Bravo.
I'm sorry. I have an idea. He's gonna be too distracted. We're gonna give him keys. Keys are in the ignition. I commend the efforts. Shows the type of person you are.
Let's try and Slim Jim it, even though it's futile.
Listen, I've
I mean, I
Slim Jim
accomplished
it.
what I wanted to do.
Listen, Duncan, I'm certified, bud. I can Slim Jim this, the Scouts, the CVPIs. I've hacked an ammunition crate.
Look, I wasn't Slim Jimming it because I knew I could accomplish it.
114.
I was Slim Jimming it so you could stop driving for a second to read that report.
Oh, you didn't think I was too distracted watching you try to Slim Jim the car? You thought I read the report?
Yeah, surely you read it, right?
I tried to, and I saw the amount of. Okay, let me.
Anyone? Yes. This is something that Hayes wrote for me so that I could stay on track and not like derail myself.
You know, I got a DAP for this deep breaths portion. Focus on what matters, and if you start to spiral, it's okay to step back and focus on what makes you happy or whatever you can at the moment. Reminds me of when I took a step back and didn't immediately respond to a laundromat, and Bay got upset that they only had 3 units available, and instead of approaching me and discussing it with me, opted to skip the entirety of the chain of command, go straight to the chief of police, complain, get an announcement put out, and only then, after all of that happened, Bay approached me at the vault to ask why I didn't respond, and then it dawned on me that that announcement was about me. So I called Barrick, who put the announcement out, to verify, and yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I'm starting to notice a trend with Bay and a lot of the issues.
What's her last name?
Weather. I'm starting to know a very, very severe, concerning trend with Bay and a lot of the issues. That
So
we
you say
currently
weather, I
face.
say weathered.
This is gonna be like a roads like smoking them kind of joke.
I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I can stoop. I can stoop real low, and I will.
Something I'm trying to do that it's not written down there, but it's also been something that has been tried to be taught into me, but ultimately you can drive again, by the way. Sometimes I lose track of it, is communicating with the people I have issues with. I haven't been able to talk with Bay yet about the issues I have because I feel like
I 6 23 10.
once I do that, I need to make sure that I come in with prepared because I'm expecting
Well, let me
it to
prepare
be-
you, okay? Because when I was having this conversation with Bay, she was like, "Oh no, you know, I was just wondering. You're gonna have to call her out because she's gonna play as though like, oh, it's not that big of a deal." No, I had to make it very clear to her when she was questioning me that yeah, if presented the same circumstances, I would do exactly what I did again. Okay. Further, it was very obvious with how she was communicating, not what exactly she was saying, that she was not happy. Okay. And I pretty much had to force it out of her. Like, if you take issue with that, let me know. Like, don't sit there, and only then did it come out that she took issue with it. It's like I had to beg her to tell her that for her to tell me that she took issue with it.
So I'm gonna say this. Something I've noticed about Bay and more so Eclipse. I want you to picture this. I know you come from shift 3, so this might be like a wild thing to hear, right? I want you to imagine that there are a number of people on duty.
Okay.
You have 3 officers on top of the roof of CMC discussing an ongoing investigation that is spanning a few days and is a very big hut level charge.
Okay.
You have 2 officers in Mr. PD. One just clocked on, hasn't even went 41 yet. And you have another who is wrapped up with something that's keeping them processing. I'm not too sure which one, right? And then you have Bay and 3 others, so 4 people total. 4. By the way, pursuit is 3 and 1 parallel. 4 people total ready to roll in on this Bucci for drug sales. There are no other actives going on, but to her not knowledge, because she wouldn't have known this because she's not a mind reader, 3 officers were on the roof of CMC discussing investigation for a hot level charge that could span a few days worth of investigating.
Right.
an additional unit clocks on, goes 41. Doesn't go 41. He just clocked on. Like, I shit you not. After she made this radio call, I called him and said, "Dude, you got to get out there, because like this is the second time he's clocked on before he can get his radio. He's the bad guy." She hops on radio and says, with the 3 units available for her, we need 77s for this drug sale call on Vespucci. There's no other actives going on, guys. He like very passive aggressive. Like, everything you're doing is not important. Come to help me now.
Is she shift 2?
Yes.
Okay. I know shift 2 promotions are being considered. I'm gonna try to make it a point to be around a shift 2 today, because I don't know if she's being considered, but if she is, this is very problematic, and it needs to be communicated, because if she's unwilling to follow something as basic as the chain of command, and unwilling to communicate her problems, she has no place being a senior if she lacks the ability to communicate. Listen, she might be the weather, okay? But raining on people ain't the solution.
So what I did was, immediately after she said that, I called up the officer I know she has a problem with, and I said, because it happened.
So you did what she was supposed to, but didn't?
So a week prior, that officer, you may know him as Flop Dugong.
Okay.
Clocked on, didn't go 41 yet, and got shit on for not going to a 78 he was not aware of, because he had clocked on after it took place.
Oh. So
this,
again, back to
once
jumping
again,
to conclusions because she didn't communicate?
Once again,
Well,
it wasn't
answer the
her
question. Is that what
complaining.
happened?
It was, yes, but it wasn't her that complained. Maybe she did. It was the whole Eclipse clip. But he clocked on, and I was like, Flop, I know you're not a mind reader, but I want you to know there is an active that has maximum units on it, but they need 77s. So I know you just clocked on. I know I called you as soon as you ended up on dispatch, but you need to go grab your equipment and not attach because there's too many units. But just make yourself aware that you should probably be out there instead of inside the building. I've said it facetiously, but he understood what I was talking about.
Right. Yeah. Now I'm curious. Now I'm very curious. Hold up.
So I need to talk to her about this, but I've been waiting, and now I'm even more so hesitant with what
Hold
you
on,
said.
wait a minute.
What?
Her 30-day check-in was 327. There's no way she'd get considered.
No, she will. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's the unfortunate thing of it's a very unfortunate thing. When I spoke to Barrick and I said, I don't want to make any assumptions, and it was mostly like to help them out, because obviously we just went through like a tragedy with Lenny, and Lenny had 2 best friends and they were attached at the hip. But we should probably just need to help them out to, empathize with them or get them some sort of help, as they just lost their friend. As I know how it is when I lose my friends. But he said, the thing about Bay is, I've known her a long time. She is capable of adapting to many different circumstances and situations. It's nepotism.
Able to adapt.
He's known her for a long time. She's great.
Well, I've known Barrett for a long time. And there's a difference between adapting to your environment and sort of just like, you know, falling in line versus complaining, but never to the actual, you know, people that need to improve upon something, or being like passive aggressive. And I'm gonna be real, Duncan. I'm gonna be real. I'm going to be real. I want Bay to see the level of passive aggressive and like shady that she is by doing the same shit to her, so she can realize how fucked up it is. All she had to do was speak to me, and I would have explained exactly as I did.
I'll
But
say this.
mm,
I will say this. I will say this. There's been something I've been complaining about very consistently for the last few days now, and been essentially shrugged off or disregarded. But I still think it's very true. That is, uh, I'm over people having an issue, not confronting the person, and then never letting it go, and then keep pressing the issue until that person either quits or is fired. And I don't want to fall down that same path. Because she's probably really capable of being a leader. There's something she needs to cook on, and I do believe everyone is capable. What I don't want to see, which is what I've already been seeing, is people getting, for example, Ruth, right? How many times do you hear over and over Ruth the Ruthless, or Ruthilla the Hun, or fucking Malton
I never had an
fucking,
issue with Ruth, to be
Malton
clear.
had 600 nicknames for her. Remember that?
No,
During the audit,
I
you never
haven't
talked to
spoken to Malton, like, at all.
If he spoke to you during the audit, he'd be like, "Well, what's your opinion on Ruthella the Hun, or Saddam Hussein, or
To be
Ruth
clear,
the Ripper?"
I dislike people who... Actually, I can't say that anymore.
No, say it.
No, I can't say that
Say it, Rhodes.
anymore.
Say it, Rhodes.
No.
This is a safe space to say it.
Give me a second. I have to send a text message first.
Yeah, 165's got eyes here. It just looks to me like they're in chat at the moment. Yeah, like Maisie said.
I hate when people name stuff after themselves.
And there's going to be and he's going to have cream and coloured.
Oh, the Malton process.
Yeah.
Why can't you say that anymore?
And then the second individual is going to
It's complicated.
have a green/brownish coloured.
Why is it complicated? I don't get it.
It's just complicated for me.
Trying to get me to
Okay.
move out of the way. On the goddamn sidewalk.
Did you get something named after yourself?
And he's refusing
No.
to identify himself.
No.
Could I get a
What about when someone names something after someone else?
issue this man a ticket?
Are they gonna see us from the anode location?
Because I've called that.
No.
underpass
It's
camp.
different. It's different if somebody else names it.
Okay, I've called
But
that
if somebody
underpass
else
bridge.
names it for someone and that person runs with it, as opposed to putting forth an effort into changing it, I think I'd take issue with that.
Okay, I'll say that underpass under the bridge, where that hobo camp that we just drove into and parked at, I've referred to as the Mackenzie Hayes Memorial Park.
Why?
If she heard me call it that, she'd say, "Duncan, I'm not dead, and stop naming memorials after me because I'm not dead, and it implies that I'm dead and I don't want to die."
That's valid. No,
But
it's
also
just...
the place where we had the most talks. It's the go-to talking place. Also, because she likes trash, because she loves trash.
What?
She likes to pick up trash. She doesn't like things being out of order. Like, she doesn't like when people just leave trash everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, neither do I.
And she would have so much fun with the litter bandit.
No. No. Just no.
But anyway, besides the naming these or whatever, right? The amount of like people just digging on Ruth to the point where they couldn't come up with any other material for days. Then she has to resign because they got the mayor involved and it would just kept going. When the reality is that that cap trio was a trio for a reason. People hard focus on one person to the point where, as of 23 days ago, Rhodes, long after Ruth has left us, somebody made a fake mayoral campaign for Ruth. And I know it's fake because there's a thing in here that she would never support or endorse.
He's gone now. He's cleared out the area, but the other two have wisened up a little bit. So if you just stay where you
can't be
are, if you're
surprised.
out of sight, I'm gonna move. Get out of the way.
But then,
Yeah, be advised, one's coming
then
right
I see the
towards you
same
now,
thing
they're both
happen
coming towards you, then on the radar as well.
with Viv.
Being eastbound.
And I see the same thing happen with Flop.
I stole my bike.
And then I see the same
Still
thing
your
happen.
bike?
You know, it's
Hey,
a trend,
son,
right?
chase him down.
So I don't want to sit here and go, let's shit on Bay
Is
until
he heading out on
she
Dutch London?
feels so bad that
Sure.
she just doesn't. She's just not Bay anymore. She's just
Maisie, which
you know,
direction?
going through the motions.
Unknown. I've got another suspect down here. There's two of them.
It is very difficult
Aubrey Webster
because I'm
is
trying
going
to
be
have a
involved. He's picking
conversation
up one
with
of
her.
them.
I'm trying to pull her aside and talk to her about some of these issues. I
This
just don't know
bike.
how to do it because I just foresee the following happening. Is I have this conversation,
vehicles are
and if I'm not careful with the way I word it,
He
and
was
I'm
last
not
seen
like
traveling westbound back towards Palomino.
point-
Stop
Sorry,
trying
that
to
was
be
my
careful,
point.
Duncan. Sometimes you just need to be forward.
no, let me see what's gonna happen.
You wanna hop in my
Is
car?
it doesn't matter what I
I'm
say.
gonna document these vehicles.
Hey, this is
My word's
car.
gonna be twisted,
Can't be out back yet.
and it's going to be brought past the chain of command, past my command,
565
to Barrett, and then I'm the bad guy.
Oh, that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me.
Are they still on the block or?
One of them
That's
has
literally
a
what
bike,
happened to
the other
me.
one got in Aubrey Webster's vehicle, so he is getting a warning.
Hello.
And for what? Does
Yo, what's
Aubrey
going on?
Webster's full of-
Pull it over.
It's like
Pull it over for what? What'd I do?
off-road looking thing.
You were
It's like a
speeding.
fucking
Pull it
monster
over.
truck with like no sign.
All right, I'm also gonna need you to step out of the vehicle, please.
South Palomino code 4.
Step out of the vehicle for what?
That vehicle's been reported stolen.
Damn.
Oh, come on.
Be advised as well. When I went to the dispatch calls and looked through all the calls and searched that plate. It's
this
been
one
seen
comes up.
3 times
Yeah.
for vehicle suspicious activity. For financial activity.
Is that situation code 4?
Negative. We're gonna be. Oh, sorry. Actually, yeah, it is. We're gonna be code 6 here around Palomino Avenue here for a stolen police bike.
A firm 130, active 80, Black Sultan, westbound Innocence, occupied once, traffic light with a clear speeds 50, right northbound to the VU parking lot. Left and immediate left westbound towards Innocence, left southbound into the alleys towards Form, left eastbound, crossing past the Lucky Plucker towards Davis. Oh, I 50'd, and my vehicle's stuck in reverse. It's still stuck in reverse. My car's stuck in reverse. PCP.
The
Okay.
Sultan has been seen
For what it's worth,
within the last 5
every time
minutes.
they take this route, they go this way.
Yeah, we've seen the last 5 minutes fleeing from the Boulevard del Perro, Fleeca, Hawick Ave, Fleeca, and the Hawick Ave Meteor Street Fleeca. Within the
What
last 3 minutes.
Macy, I amended the second vehicle on scene. Registered owner is Rio Jr.
Okay, I can't see the
Check for
like
evidence.
railing for the train tracks over there. That's no
UCB.
bueno. UTL, Matt
Yeah.
Sultan.
You see my dilemma? I've already tried to talk to Declan,
Be on the
and
lookout for a police bike.
it just met with
Yeah, I'm gonna be off
everyone
duty
is-
until we get the bike
everyone's a
because I don't want to get in
pussy.
a car.
and a Baca, and they all suck, and it just seemed like an unproductive conversation. To which I returned to my original point about it's okay for it not to be perfect. It's okay for people to just not be not movable or not changeable, or they're just stuck in their ways. As long as, you know,
Duncan, you want me to be real? I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt
what's
you, but if I don't say this, I'm gonna forget. Sometimes, when
Spray your chest.
everywhere you go, it smells like shit.
Copy. 855.
Sometimes you might want to check the bottom of your
we had
shoe.
195.
To be clear, this isn't
they were
about
just
you.
fine and let go
Oh no, I
because
know,
they only
because
got resisting arrest.
I said it this morning when I said,
Hey, fam.
I think a certain
Be on the
officer
lookout for a white
realized
colored
that
convertible
every
vehicle
command member he runs
with
into
a black
reminds
roof
him
on
of
the
Ruth,
top.
and it
It's
must
a
be that
two-door.
maybe
It's similar to Zion Cabrera.
maybe it's
Individual is
him.
a male with a bald head, like black
Yeah, no,
mask
I
wrapped around
believe
his
that
head.
fully.
Break really quick. I'm not sure if it's an outlaw, it's an off-roading vehicle registered to Aubrey Webster, whose forehead. And I do recall forehead being mentioned.
A firm, now I've ID'd him. He's involved. He's felony obstruction.
A firm. Was this off-road vehicle utilized at all?
A firm.
All right.
The
Activating
vehicle is taking the
eastbound
suspect up.
Innocence Boulevard. Traffic light weather clear. Speeds 110.
Left touch.
Continuing eastbound, all the way towards El Rancho and Sustancia. We're sending northeast and eastbound off-road. I'm going to clear us for PBS if he's taking us off-road.
Team attaching.
Continuing eastbound off of Sustancia, off of El Burro, U-turn westbound. Now northbound. I may have it boxed. I got it boxed. Can you do me a favor and pull him out? We're off of Sustancia and El Burro.
I'm gonna be pulling you out of the vehicle, all right? Don't do anything funny.
Sir, please
Yeah.
comply.
How about the oil fields?
He's
5
calling
minutes,
on-
2 minutes.
He's calling on radio. Said he needs help on the oil field.
No
Still got
boys
it
will
solo
come to help
box.
you.
Let's do it now.
I'm pulling you out.
Come on. Dude.
85523.
But I can't pull him
Oh.
out. I'm too weak.
All right, whichever CVPI
Yeah,
that
to
is,
switch
go ahead in
places.
position. All right, it's currently southbound, broke the box.
Forte, control yourself.
965.
We're continuing southbound, parallel to El Burro Boulevard.
But
Just
I don't
went
wanna
out, overtake.
begin to explain how difficult it was to shove the baton through the door there.
What?
I felt like I had to be, you know, pinpoint precise within a millisecond.
Oh, vehicles
Left,
flipped.
1050.
And we're westbound down towards Sustancia.
835 secondary westbound or northbound off-road heading back towards El Burro. That's southbound U-turn. Bridging eastbound off-road. Continuing eastbound into the hills. Continuing eastbound off-road. Parallel El Burro.
Ready for any intercepting vehicles.
Facing south now. Continuing southbound
No
parallel
one's
El
coming to
Burro.
help you.
Still continuing on top of the hill, southbound parallel El Burro.
You're done. You're done.
865 is going to be on Alberta here.
Be careful of the animals.
Still on top of the hill. Continuing southbound El Burro, secondary 50. Primary also 50. Last seen southbound.
Yeah, I'm smoking. Stand by. I see the vehicle. It's westbound down towards the street. Currently northwest. A unit just passed him.
Eyes got eyes westbound Alberta off-road. Going to the oil fields. I'm about 50, yeah. 22 westbound, passing through Oliphants. Basically, his last seen going westbound towards, I believe it was El Rancho. Sorry, Elation Fields. Went right northbound, Elation Fields, 20. Oh, sorry, basically.
Oh, car's out.
He didn't go northbound. He had to went south or west.
Didn't come south.
All right, Rogue.
You go south?
No, he didn't come south.
Ask
Probably
away.
continued
Yeah, I'm
west.
pretty sure he made a right onto
Should
Elation
I?
Fields.
What
I
should
came
one do about the
southbound
base
towards
situation?
Elysian, and he didn't turn around.
I think I visually foreheaded in different vehicles. Stand by.
So the
We're gonna be
official
just off Innocence
part of
Boulevard
me,
on Little Vista.
would have loved to have had a conversation with her, right? But then it's gonna seem malicious.
And
So
22, that is not him.
bringing
Same
up
shirt,
these
same look, not
concerns
him.
to her superior is probably gonna be best course of action.
You know, that's the thing too. And I hate to say it, but I think Command plays favorites. It's really unfortunate, especially. I want to say.
You think they'll play favorites with Bay?
Yes, I think Shift 2 plays favorites.
65 code 6, South Chambers Street.
Because
162 west.
I've had complaints about certain officers, and depending on who they are, it's shrugged off as not a big deal, or you're the problem.
Are you the problem?
I'll say this. You're in shift 3, and you don't really consider shifts. Are you aware that Slacks and Kip was shot by Lenny Hawk?
I'm aware of the situation, but not like a full-on.
Right.
Like I know it
Southbound
happened.
South Chambers Street,
That's
code
the extent of
4.
Yeah. It happened
Don't hang on,
because
Waco 4.
Lenny had frustrations with the police
Innocence
department.
is code
and
4. I'm gonna
he
check out the hotel off Palomino.
was not happy with how things were going. Some people mistaking it as he was mad that his turbo got stolen,
Okay.
which isn't the case.
Transport 60 construction sites.
I was on
parallel
duty,
Poplar.
and I heard Declan ask,
UTL on
"Did
that
anyone
off-road
secure
vehicle.
Bay's car?"
10-4.
And the answer was yes. And then he said, "Good. I guess no one's getting shot today."
Huh?
Dispatch 865 tonight.
He was making a joke about the fact that Lenny's car was not secured, and then he shot Slacks and Kit.
I'm sorry. Who made the comment? Apologies.
Declan.
Okay.
Very inappropriate comment to make. The feedback I got directly from the chief was people process grief differently, and it's just a joke. It's why you don't have to take it so seriously. I just fully believe that there are some officers that just have a free pass. I think
I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think, even for just a fucking moment, that they will either consider rehiring Lenny, or do you think even for a fucking moment that there was a thought that this would have resulted in him not being fired? I asked that genuinely, because if you tell me, as someone you're around during that time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you would have far more information, and I feel you're a good judge of character. Do you feel that either of those two were even like remotely close to being a possibility that actually occurred?
I'll tell you what I told Flop. I said, be aware this is going to be a fact, right? At some point, Lenny will get an expungement, and he will be rehired. He'll be rehired, and I know it's going to cause a lot of shockwave and oohs and ahs, and people will be like, how could you let this happen? And I can tell you right now, anyone who complains about it is going to be told, oh, let it go. It happened a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months, however long it takes, right? Let it go. He's changed. The LSPD loves second chances, Rhodes. We're all about second chances,
I know we've given so many to criminals.
but not first chances.
Well, to be clear, when I said that, I'm specifically referring to, you know, our SOPs that indicate we don't exchange lives for people in custody, and yet we did that for Slacks. And again, love Slacks. You know, I think he means all the best, but it had nothing to do with him, and had everything to do with the fact that you do it once, it's going to become a thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's another issue entirely. But
Yeah,
I can tell you
that's
right
why
now,
I brought it up during that meeting. By the way, I'm not sure if you were present.
Lenny
He
will
was
be
up
rehired.
there.
Lenny will be rehired. It's going to go through an expungement. He's going to be rehired.
You think Lenny will sell me his Scout?
No, 'cause he's gonna be rehired.
That'll be the determining factor. I'll ask Lenny, if I ever see him around, whether or not he'll sell me his Scout. And if the answer is no, that tells me everything I need to hear.
He will be rehired, and everyone will be expected to move on from it, or you're the problem.
Can I tell you the quotes you're gonna hear?
Yeah.
People can change, despite the fact that every officer deals with people on a daily basis who rarely ever change, and have that mentality about everybody, and that people don't change. You're gonna hear, stop living in the past. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. There's probably going to be other things. Duncan, I think you and I are very alike. I think there's a lot of similarities. Okay.
I think we're going down two different paths, because I'm on the path of, I understand that it's bullshit and things like this will happen. Lenny will be rehired, but this is what I told Flop. I said, Flop, do you think about quitting? And he said, more often than not. And I said, if you quit, two people will take your place that very easily will take his place, either as a senior or as an officer. And there will be no, Barrack will not shed a tear. Ruby won't even remember who he is. It will make no impact. If he were to take a stand and say, I can't work in a department where they rehire a guy who shot a police captain, no hesitation will be needed to replace him. Someone in shift 3 will be hired in his place. Probably like a fresher cadet that needs to be trained relentlessly. And two seniors will be hired in his place. Probably someone who comes on duty a lot and is somewhat competent at responding to 80s. And notice I said 80s and nothing else. And the only people that it's going to affect are the people around him that enjoy Flop, that want to see Flop, like myself. It's gonna ruffle me up. It's gonna hurt me if he does that. Much in the same way it would hurt me if Viv or Anita left. Much in the same way it would hurt me if you left, right? Taking a stand only hurts the people around you, which is why I try to have this this attitude. I know that's why we're going different paths. You're in a I can't fix them, but I sure can fight them. But I'm in a I don't need to fight them or fix them. I just need to make sure the people around me are good and solid.
Okay, but what if I told you every time you do that, like you are contributing to a worse environment? Okay, let me equate it to an environment that smells. Okay, and instead of finding the source of the problem, you just sit there and spray something that just something that smells better, right?
Command and High Command are aware of the issues regarding various officers and their attitude that smells, and they're complacent and don't really care.
Oh my god, Duncan, I just need to show up for shift fucking 2.
McNulty does not give a fuck. As long as he can go to Little Ireland, he's fine. Nothing else matters to him. Bones is complacent in everything. He was next to Declan when he said that shooting over a turbo joke. He was next to him. Bones laughs with them. McNulty does not care as long as he can patrol Little Ireland.
I'm normally a decent judge of character though, and I can see that from Bones, but for McNulty, like I've never seen him shrug something off.
Today when Cornwood was fucking smoking me in there?
No. But how was he smoking you? What the fuck?
Oh, good. Maybe a good thing you weren't at the meeting. Cornwood was talking about things he would do as PD liaison, and I asked him the hard question because I know that he is the kind of person as PD liaison that will do things that he wants to do, and he's not going to really consider what his constituents or voters want him to do. So I asked him the hard question of, if the PCP is up for renew, would you vote for it? And he said yes.
Without hesitation?
Without hesitation.
No. Okay.
And Max came in and he sort of twisted it around to make it sound like I was doing anti-Max stuff in there.
You think they have the votes to pass it?
Yes, it will be passed.
Who's the tiebreaker? Wait, is there a tiebreaker? How many are there in there? Council of what?
Everyone wants it. Everyone wants a PCP.
No, I refuse to believe that.
Everyone in there wants it.
You think Etta, Cantor, I don't know how the judge portion or head of bar or whatever is gonna fall.
Serge or Murphy will vote in favor of it.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, but hear me out. What if... Okay. While you may not be wrong, understand that it being re-implemented doesn't necessarily have to mean it's re-implemented in the same state it was in before, right? I think the important bit is ensuring that, for example, when he believes that the PD is not holding itself accountable or there are problematic things, he can do something, right? But who watches over him?
The state.
Yeah, that doesn't tell me much. The state would only ever get involved if there was something so egregious. There's otherwise not a situation in which that's going to happen. What I think is that, believe it or not, I'm actually not opposed to it, but there does need to be changes.
I don't want to like deviate from what we're talking about. I know it's a very like heated subject. My point isn't whether or not it was good or bad. It was mainly checking Cornwood to see if he cares about what his constituents think or if he's just going to do what Cornwood wants to do.
I mean, knowing Cornwood, he's going to do what he wants to do, with the justification being He knows.
Max then walked in and he made it sound like it was an anti-Max thing, and he called me out in it, and I felt like I was just put on blast in there, in front of Max, in front of everyone, and no one really just sort of. McNulty was actually going ooh T instead of saying, hey, this isn't appropriate for the meeting to have this discussion in front of everyone. McQuillan walked out of the meeting, you know, rightfully so.
Who
I
did?
even pointed out as McQuillan. I even pointed
Okay.
out. I'm sorry, I got distracted. I was watching someone walk out of the meeting because it was a shit show. It was a shit show. It was a public. It was two people fighting. It was two people fighting each other in front of everyone as an audience.
Yeah. Not a big fan of that.
But McNulty sat there and was just like, ooh, like you know when shit happens, you go ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Shit,
I know what you're saying.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Duncan,
that's how McNulty operates.
there used to exist a, and I've sort of implied this during more recent meetings. You know, seeing more people, you know, especially some familiar names, and I've gotten up there, and have said, you know, this place is feeling more and more like home, right? And what I meant by that was, not just
Low key shade.
No, not low-key shade at all. Unless you're implying the unintentional shade of that statement is, this didn't feel like home before, which is obvious. But the point in saying that is, like, a lot of the actions that are happening. Oh, jeez, and it's 60. I'm not getting into an 80 right now. A lot of the actions, we've already talked about this a million times, should have happened months ago. It is what it is. Can't change it. We're fixing it now. We're doing our best, right? But more importantly, the people I'm referring to when I'm saying these things are people who would stand up for each other. Specifically, I don't know if you were present for the meeting a few days ago where I think Graves was calling people out as like, you know, is this necessary at the meeting type deal? In addition to Sky, who obviously holds a high rank in Shift 3, not allowing shit by other shifts to be said or done in our meeting. And I don't mean our meeting like, oh, it's Shift 3's meeting, nobody else can attend type bullshit. More so that we don't let people walk over other people, especially if we know you know, if we know who these people are. If you're a normal Shift 3er and someone is you know, shit talking you or whatever, nobody with any level of fucking respect is gonna let that happen. So the fact that that did happen is concerning. I don't know who was present, and it's disappointing that it wasn't shut down.
The only person who tried to shut it down, and albeit I, you know, bite the hand that feeds you, was Sky, because she tried to shut it down after they already did it, and I wasn't allowed to have a rebuttal, and I was like, please, Sky, I need to have a rebuttal. The door is already open. She did try to shut it, but she was too late. But I did commend her afterwards, saying I appreciate you trying to. Seems like she was more upset because apparently the whole meeting she was trying to speak and people were talking over her. Which didn't help. But
Gosh.
and I'll give McNulty some credit too. While he didn't egg that one on, he did step in when Max said Nakota is a useless cop the other day.
You want to know the biggest issue with Nakota?
What's that?
Is that people thought he was a mind reader. And people just assumed, hey, this is the norm when I'm around, therefore Nakota knows about it.
Yep. That is the biggest issue.
Which goes back to people not communicating. People not opening their mouth.
I'll tell you the biggest issue with these the favorites of Shift 2
13076/311.
Let's see what's going on. Abandoned cop car just had the most. Oh my god. Turbo, not the turbo. The problem with the
Leave its
biggest.
losses.